Hi all, I'm Azure and welcome back to the Heart Headlines where, if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan currently, when it rains, it pours, and oh boy, it is pouring right now with news, as we now have the big Famitsu D23 interview with Tetsuya Nomura and Yasue coming out of D23. We've been waiting for this. We thought it was going to come last week, but it didn't, but we finally have it here, and boy, there's some big information in here towards both the story and the progression of development. So, with that said, let's get started. Now, this interview in its entirety is extremely interesting, but I'm going to be picking out the kind of main important points that I feel should be taken from this interview. But if you do want to read the full thing, I highly recommend you go and read it for yourself. It's over on KH Insider, it's been fully translated, so please go and check it out over there if you're interested in the full thing. But first off, of course, like he said at the deep dive panel, both Tetsuya Nomura and Yasue both commit to the fact that Kingdom Hearts 4 will 100% be releasing in 2027. They said that with their chest at the deep dive panel. It was one of the most reassuring things that I have ever personally heard coming out of a Kingdom Hearts game, and they even say so as much here. We have Nomura saying that the delivery time is quite early before the release date, to the extent that it is not a level of a buffer, with Yasue even saying the game is progressing more smoothly than ever in the history of the Kingdom Hearts series, so I hope you can rest assured about that. And that is crazy. And it's not like Kingdom Hearts has ever really reported, at least, to ever have like really bad developments. Of course, we know that Kingdom Hearts 3 did have some problems, of course, because it had to switch from the Luminous engine, which was Square's in-house engine, mainly used for Final Fantasy 15, to the Unreal Engine 4. So we did know about that way back in 2013, 2014. But as far as we know, really, Kingdom Hearts has never had terrible development problems. So this is pretty insane to hear about, and it's incredibly reassuring. And next, we have them talking about the Coco world and why Coco was adapted into Kingdom Hearts, with Nomura saying, "That's right, I decided this during the early stages because I definitely wanted to put it in Kingdom Hearts 4. I think this world was the fastest to start development." So it's very much clear just from that Coco was the first world ever developed for Kingdom Hearts 4, which is pretty crazy because, you know, Coco is the perfect world like I and many others have said. So I'm very glad that even like very early on they were like, right, we gotta get Coco in Kingdom Hearts 4. And then they also talk about the battle system going into Coco, specifically talking about Sora's kind of team attack with Hector, with Yasue saying, yes, in addition to the swinging the Keyblade, he uses the guitar and incorporates musical elements into battle. There are also other mysterious... No, there are a lot of other factors that I can't see anymore. Which of course is super interesting. I want to know everything about it. He's probably talking about the build command system here, if I had to guess anyway, and with Nomura also saying, this work is the best creation of any world in the past. That's why the total number of worlds is not large. The world of Coco was revealed at the showcase the day before the panel, so people said, isn't there another world announcement at the panel? I saw some people who were expecting it, but if you announce it at such a high pace, the information will run out quickly before the release. However, in fact, the world of Coco was shown off as only a small part. It was a great opportunity to show it at D23, so I briefly unveiled the world of Coco, which was originally planned to be introduced a little later. There's also an opportunity to introduce it again, so please look forward to the follow-up in the future. This is a very interesting statement from Nomura. He has said in the past that the worlds of Kingdom Hearts 4, there's going to be less of them than Kingdom Hearts 3, which I think, you know, a lot of people have their own opinions. I think this is fine. I want to say this is fine, because I think that the worlds of Kingdom Hearts 4 are going to be so much richer and deeper and larger and just more densely packed with content than we have ever seen in the series, and I think that's incredibly exciting. So they're going for a more quality over quantity approach here, which I think is perfectly fine, to be honest. If they can really justify the quality over quantity here, I think that's perfect. And the fact that this, you know, Coco world was going to be shown later, perhaps this trailer was originally going to be fully Quadratum based, which would have also been very interesting in its own right. But I think that the fact that Coco was shown here is really cool, and maybe, hey, we'll get another extended Coco trailer where it's focusing entirely on Coco. We're getting to see tons of Coco. We're getting to see, Sora interacting with Miguel and Hector, perhaps with the Rivera family, with Ernesto maybe. We might get a little glimpse of the Ernesto boss fight, because we did see that Alajibre Spirit Guide, kind of heartless, guard armor looking boss in the Coco trailer. So I think it's going to be incredibly interesting to see more of the Coco world and seeing how Sora interacts with these new characters. I think it's going to be awesome to see. Next, we move into a section that is surprisingly focused on Sigurd of all characters, which is very, very interesting. But the first kind of point that Nomura talks about is the fact that Kingdom Hearts 4's story is very heavily influenced by the Kingdom Hearts Key series. Nomura says as much here when he says, Kingdom Hearts 4 is a story that flows from the Key series and the smartphone version that ran to its conclusion. If you played them, I think both Valley and Sigurd will be familiar, but even if you have not played it, don't worry, I'm expanding on what kind of people they are in this game. So with that said, I think one of the kind of major, not problems as such, but one of the kind of concerns that some people have is the fact that this game is going to be so packed with the mobile game lore. And there is, I admit, because I've already made a video on this before, a massive problem with the fact that Union Cross, Dark Road, and even now the cancelled Missing Link are not accessible. I have made a video about how Union Cross should be getting a remake, but we don't have it yet. So I think it's very good that Nomura has basically come out and said, look, we know that the games are cancelled, we know that the games aren't accessible, but I plan to introduce these characters. It's like I'm introducing them again for the first time, which I think is really cool. Honestly, Valley basically is a new character. We only got one line from him in Dark Road. In Sigurd, we were going to get more of him in Missing Link, of course, but we only got that little snippet at the end of Union Cross, as well as him being the voice for the 2022 reveal trailer as well, which, very interesting in its own right. And speaking of Sigurd, it's actually really interesting because in the following, question from the interview, as you can see here, he says that he really likes Sigurd, and even Yasue likes Sigurd, which is so interesting. And we've had Nomura talking about the characters that he likes in the past. We've had him talking about how he loves Xigbar. He said he really loved Xigbar. He said he loved Luxord, which, the two characters who are now big, massive points in the Kingdom Hearts series. And they even follow up with Yasue saying he's probably the type of character that has not been in Kingdom Hearts until now. The number of his fans in the company is also increasing rapidly, with Nomura following up saying, we haven't announced it yet, but the voice actor's performance is also great. He was a person with a very good intuition, and he acted more than we were looking for. And I don't know if he was talking about the English or the Japanese voice actor here, but if you listen to the trailer, it's like they were actually killing Sigurd's voice actor in the booth in that trailer. The scream he let out was actually insane. Like, when do we ever hear characters scream like that in the Kingdom Hearts series? That was nuts. But it's so interesting that Sigurd has these fans already in the company. And I think he's giving that very, Arden, Final Fantasy 15 Arden vibe. And that's so just super interesting. I want to know more about what his deal is, because he's just so interesting. I cannot tell if he is a villain, if he's an ally, if he's playing both sides, if he's against both sides. I have no idea what Sigurd's deal is, and I'm so excited to learn what his deal is. I just want to know. But Nomura also was asked about the little voice at the end of the trailer, and he does confirm here that was in fact Kairi. That was Alison Stoner's Kairi at the end of the trailer. And he does even talk about the fact that the amount of, applause and all this cheers and stuff of Riku appearing kind of drowned out Kairi in the panel, which they kind of did, to be honest. But, I heard it and I was like, wait a minute, what was that? What was that? Was that Kairi? I don't know. But it's great to hear, he's getting Kairi involved already. And he even said that he got Alison, and I'm assuming Kairi's Japanese voice actor too, to voice this specifically for the trailer, which is really, really cool. The next section dives a little bit more into the Kingdom Hearts key aspect of the whole Kingdom Hearts 4 story, and I think that's really cool. And first of all, he talks about the fact that Sora has now joined the Dandelions, which, if you didn't know, if you've been on this channel, you'll know exactly who the Dandelions are. But for those who haven't played the key games or watched any of the lore roundups or the lore fan dubs, mainly the one by Demo, the Dandelions are a sect of Keyblade wielders that Ava, one of the foretellers or the Lost Masters, was made by the Master of Masters to go and create so that they could spread their light into the future. And we had characters like Ephemer, Skuld, Laurium, Strelitzia, Ventus, which Ventus did originate from Key if you didn't know. These characters were the Dandelions, but it seems like the legacy of the Dandelions has been brought forth into Kingdom Hearts 4, and he does talk about them here when he says, "Of course, there are those who have been interested in this series, but this may be the first time for those who are only following the numbered games. Dandelion is the name of an organization that gathers excellent Keyblade users that appeared in the aforementioned Key series. In this game, there are the Dandelions cooperating with the government of Quadratum, and the Keyblade users who come to this world, including Sora, participate." So this is super interesting because one of the big kind of discussions in the Kingdom Hearts community has recently been, are the Dandelions with Yasura in the, Quadratum government or the Quadratum military, or are they against them? And I personally had this kind of working theory in my head that, maybe they're this special task force that the Quadratum government in Yasura or the military or just whoever calls upon when the threat is especially grave, like something like a dark side or something like that. Something that Keyblade users are more equipped to handle, so to speak. And that seems to be the case here. They seem to be this special task force that they call upon. And he also says that the staff that are part of the Key series, so those who created Union Cross, Dark Road, Unchained Key, are part of Kingdom Hearts 4. And he even said that there is a staff member specifically made for organizing all of the information and getting the facts right, where he says, "Fortunately, the staff of the Key series has a staff member who organizes the settings of the Kingdom Hearts series in detail and in an easy to understand way, and he was also in charge of explaining scenarios and settings to Disney. In fact, at the beginning of the development of Kingdom Hearts 4, Disney asked him to compile those materials, and he officially joined the Kingdom Hearts 4 team as a proofreader." So they've basically got their continuity guy. A lot of, very long-running series will have someone that is in charge of keeping the continuity of a series correct, so that they're not, going too far away from the continuity, or they're making, retcons all over the place. So I think this is fantastic. This is great to have, because there are a lot of discussions right now in the Kingdom Hearts community about retcons, and all of the retcons or the unreliable narrator moments of the Kingdom Hearts series. And to end off this section, they ask a very interesting question to Nomura. They ask about the character that is in the anime key art, and they ask if they are part of the Kingdom Hearts Dark Road game, and Nomura says, "It seems that some people are considering the shape of the Keyblade, but I can't say anything." And of course, if you've seen my anime news roundup, we pretty much are convinced, 100% convinced, that this is in fact Helgi, who is one of the upperclassmen in Dark Road. And the Keyblade resembles the Dark Road Keyblade. The way that the kind of screws come up and the two sides, that's very much what the Dark Road Keyblade looks like. The next section really goes to show just how far along Kingdom Hearts 4 is in development, as we get a little sense of how the English voice recording and just the recording in general is going. As they ask about how the recording is going, Yasue says, "English voice recording is in full swing right now. There are a lot of lines and there is a time difference, but a lot of staff from Japan are participating. However, 60 or 70% of the overseas recording is already completed and has progressed considerably, with Nomura following up saying, by the way, the Japanese voice recording has already ended." So, Kingdom Hearts 4 has been fully recorded in Japanese. That is kind of insane. Kingdom Hearts 4 is really on the way. And the fact that even 60 or 70% of the English voice recording is done, that's crazy. Because that means pretty much that, yes, much like many of the rumors and the, people like Zach Pokriz saying that he was doing recording for Kingdom Hearts 4, that that's probably true. He was probably telling the truth, which was all the way back in May of 2025. So that was an insane update for the voice recording. Kingdom Hearts 4 is almost finished recording. That's insane. That's so insane. And to top all of that off, Nomura says, however, the volume of the script for this game is a little less than double that of Kingdom Hearts 3, so the recording schedule was really difficult. There were some parts where I wanted to put in more, but it exceeded the limit. This game's script is double the length of Kingdom Hearts 3. Do you know how insane that is? I couldn't believe my eyes reading that. I was like, this game's double Kingdom Hearts 3? That is nuts. This game is going to be at least 30 to 40 hours long, I think. And that is insane for a Kingdom Hearts game. But they also end off this little interview with them asking about if we're going to see more trailers anytime soon. And Nomura says, the release of the game will still be in the second half of next year, and the development is at the final push stage, so I will focus on that for a while. The timing of the next information release is currently under consideration, so the interval will be slightly wider. Now, I do want to talk about the fact that I believe, and I've said this before, that I believe Kingdom Hearts 4 will appear at the Game Awards. I am so convinced that we're going to get a big reveal at the Game Awards. That would be 4 months after this D23 trailer that we've had, and there was 3 months between the June Direct trailer and the D23 trailer. So I think 4 months is, it's alright. There is the fact that we now also have the 25th anniversary exhibition happening in Japan between February and April in Roppongi Hills. So that could potentially give us a trailer come the end of it. There will be, a big anniversary event. I'm predicting there's going to be a big anniversary event, just like the 20th anniversary event. So I think we can look forward to that. But yes, I do think that the Game Awards will have Kingdom Hearts 4. And I do find it kind of interesting that he does say it in the second half of next year instead of late next year. But I don't think I want to read too much into that. That's way too, speculatory for me. But that is the kind of main points from this interview that I wanted to take. And guys, Kingdom Hearts 4 continues to roll on. I can't believe we're here next year. We're getting Kingdom Hearts 4, guys. But let me know what you guys think about this interview and all of the bits of information that we got in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of any time I upload on the channel. I've been Azure, and as always, may your heart be your guiding key.